May I ask, what is your name?
Courtney Pointer Lewis.
What about you?
I'm Chloe Love.
It's my understanding that you're partners, you're together. What do you guys do?
Oh, so many things, Chloe.
Name a few.
So we have an event space here. We also have a co-working space that's geared towards minority women, and we run
What does it mean, co-working?
co-working spaces where people can come together with their laptops and their ideas and either work together on whatever their business is or work independently, and we support them. Yes, they pay monthly, but we're trying to, or we're similar to WeWork, but we also have an on-site business incubator to help entrepreneurs that are startups or looking to expand, to legitimize their business and offer courses.
Can you talk a little bit about the dynamics and numbers? Like how big is the space? What's the capacity? What are kind of events you do?
What kind of events do we do, Court?
Oh, we do so many different types of events. I would probably say that anything you can think of can be done in the space. It's definitely a multi-purpose space. As Chloe mentioned, it's between 1,300 and 1,500 square feet just on the top floor. Oh, people, we can fit anywhere from 200 to 250 with our top and bottom floor because we have a basement floor as well.
What about the catering and food and the license for liquor and stuff? Usually people want to have a drink.
Well, we're partnered with many people, so we have all of that available if needed. We're one of the only spaces in Brooklyn and in New York, period, who allows people to bring food inside and also to just have their own people come in and cater to them at their event.
Rick and I done quite a few shows together and productions. One of the shows that we just recently did at Harlem, we did basically a fashion show. It was a little tiny pizzeria, fraction of a space that you have, and we had a fashion show outside of on the street. So they actually partnered because Harlem kind of tough neighborhood, and they've been lucky to have the police precinct right on the same block.
Oh, wow.
So they partner with the captain, with the precinct. I guess they got the precinct as a client now for Pizza Forever, and we basically blocked the street, and we had a fashion show on the street. Like maybe this space is pretty awesome, and it's so close proximity to Bomb and Brick and so many places. Maybe you guys can also do fashion shows on the streets, and it will have a beautiful perspective.
I love that. I mean, the great thing about this space is not just, the size and the looks, but like you said, we're right in the heart of Brooklyn. I mean, we could touch the Barclays Center with our finger. It's literally right there. So there's anything anyone needs, it's here.
It's very convenient in terms of transportation. One thing that I had difficulty this morning when they gave me the address, I put it in my phone, and my phone wrinkled me around the Barclays Center for the last half an hour. So like maybe one thing would be helpful is just to give it so simple between 3rd and 4th Avenue, and just look at the building, and then you find once Rick gave me that pointer, I was able to find it right away.
And that's good because that is normally how we describe it, and then also we're the only building on the block that's red. So I mean, if we don't stick out like a sore thumb, I don't know.
What else do you ladies do? Like you said, you do other things besides...
Chloe will talk about all the things she does, but I specialize in digital marketing. So anyone who wants to get their name out, bring traffic to their business, expose themselves and get more clients, I can do that via internet.
What do you mean by digital marketing? For example, for me, I have over 400 pages on Facebook, and each page provides me, I have about maybe 150,000 following on between those pages. So it's so many backlinks and so many different subjects. So whichever event I want to promote, it gets me really, really high in the numbers. I do a lot of things. Probably, I don't know if Rick told you, on the YouTube. I have a YouTube channel with 30,000. I have a little bit of Instagram following. But what kind of digital marketing do you do? Like there are so many venues where people go.
There's quite a few. Each one is case by case basis. Like in your case, we would look and see how you're monetizing those sites. So with a person like you who has that much traffic, that means you should be having a lot of money coming to you. Mm-hmm. So we look at your site, we pinpoint, we give you a direct plan on how you will be able to monetize that traffic that you have.
So the way I monetize, I have sponsors who pay monthly fee to be with me, and whenever I feel like it, I kind of mention them and product place them in the events that I cover. And I have basically like whenever I interview like a celebrity or someone famous, like I have a big production, I get like gigs like photography and video, like things of that nature, thanks to that. So that's my model, but maybe there is a better one.
So no, there's nothing wrong with that. So in that term, what we would do is we would drive more traffic from your site to sponsors so they can find you, so you can have more sponsors now reaching out to you. And also when you do interview those celebrities, we would get more sponsors to see that you're interviewing celebrities and increase your traffic in that way too.
You just buy the Facebook ads, or you like do like organic, like what do?
We specialize in organic marketing. So everything is knowing exactly who your market is, who's viewing you already, and getting back in front of those exact people, not just a whole bunch of people running to your site, because that doesn't help anything.
My market is a little bit complex in terms of I'm dealing with the trust fund babies. So it's mostly, I don't need millions of views. What I need is the really wealthy ones, the ones that owns lots of buildings, lots of properties. So like that's not a huge number of people, but those people control tremendous amount of money. So that's like, it's not easy to target specifically those kids.
It's definitely easy to target. You just have to understand marketing to know. It takes deep research to be able to see exactly what those people like, and if you can get in front of them with
like
what
amazing
they like,
stuff. Those kids, they have unlimited resources in terms of money, but they like amazing stuff.
some things there's a difference between like and can't live without. So our key is finding out what they can't live without, what they can't eat, sleep, and breathe without, and why they would want you.
Billions of likes, billions of views, so they want tremendous attention. They have all the money in the world. They already inheriting like tremendous estate, but they want attention. They want to enjoy their life. They want to have adrenaline every day, have that fashion show, have that sport event. They want to have adrenaline junkie. They want to live a life.
So what you do is you cross-advertise. So you find the things that you said they like, and you find out where you fit in those things that they like, and take the traffic from that place to your place. So it's cross-branding. But you do that through internet.
We abandoned your friend a little. Like let's find out what she does.
No, I was listening to everything. You know, you learn every day. So I'm listening to you guys like there's some good ideas that's going on. But I'm Chloe Love. This is Chloe's Corner. So I'm the owner of the space, and I'm also the founder of Women with Voices, which is a nonprofit that runs here. It's a women's empowerment nonprofit. So we target the areas such as business, family, health, and immigration to support the women's community. We don't turn away men, because we do believe that pro-woman doesn't mean anti-male. And we have different events that takes place here.
What is your story as a person? Like, who are you?
Oh, I'm Chloe Love. So I started off in the music business. I owned a recording studio at Industry City, the infamous Industry Cities, before it became the infamous Industry Cities, for 8 years. I've worked with a lot of celebrities in the music industry, a lot of big brands and companies. And during that time, I decided to start my nonprofit. And when Industry City was no longer that intimate space, we moved here.
That's pretty cool. I just filmed yesterday. If you are familiar with Brick Art Media Center, like they used to have a TriCaster in the postcast studio, and they just got a new rodeo, like a box, mixer, and I record the new files yesterday. It's tremendous, value. Why would people spend money here when they can go to places like a Brick and others? And
this is not a recording studio.
You own the space, but I film, for example, at Brick Art Media Center. I use the space like Google Studios, Instagram Studios. There are so many free resources in the city where people can create and can produce. Like Microsoft has amazing business studios. I just filmed recently event at the the Amazon Studios in Chelsea. It's a huge space, and you can use it for free. Like, what's the reason why people come here versus they use those free resources?
Okay, well, that's simple. Taking your computer to sit someplace for free, you can go to the park and do that. What we do is we support the entrepreneurs. So you're getting your LLC formed or your business formed. You're getting financial literacy workshops. You're building a community. If I pay their fee for their LLCs? It depends on the package that they choose. So it's a week-by-week course. We try to do 50 women every 8 weeks. During that time, you get the free co-working space is a bonus, but it's everything else that you get to support yourself and empower yourself as an entrepreneur. That's the reason why you'd come here from just going to a space where you don't have that same support and structure.
That's pretty cool. May I ask, what is your Instagram?
My Instagram is Chloe Love, CLOELUV.
What about you?
Courtney J loves you, just how it sounds.
Two Courtneys, probably cool pictures there. Check it out.
You want me looking at camera or at
Either way. Okay, you can look at the camera when you deliver notes, and you can look at me when we talk. May I ask, what is your name?
Jordan Emmanuel.
What do you do?
I am actually the co-founder of Women with Voices, which is the home of where we are right now. And I'm also Playboy's Playmate of the Year and Miss Black America New York.
Wow. So many titles. Like, what's the distinction? Like, Playboy, it have a little bit of sexual connotation, and Miss America has like Miss New York has a platform where like a pageantry is a particular life, and ladies with women with voices probably has also a life of its own. How those three things can be together?
Well, I'm all about women's empowerment, and all of those individual platforms are serving to women and giving them a platform to speak, to talk about their past, their experiences, current, future. And, you know, I think they each talk to a different side of my personality. But at the end of the day, it's always about giving women a platform.
Some would say that those things do not coexist together in some way, because pageantry historically kind of had a notion of objectifying women and looking them at a woman as a sexual object, versus now is pageants more like a platform where ladies have built a platform to deliver the message to whatever charity they support, and raise the awareness and funds for those interests. Like, how do you think the pageant business, pageant life will evolve in the next 10, 20 years, since women's rights have been moved such a dramatic step, and we really have a chance to have a female president in this election if Warren wins and over Biden and beats the Trump. It's quite a possibility.
I think that over the next 10 to 20 years, there might not be pageantry. Maybe there'll be a different platform that women are able to express their beauty and their brains in a different form.
What's wrong with the pageantry?
Oh, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that they're finding that the ratings aren't the same. And as a business, I think it might evolve into something different. I think it'll still have the same underlying message, but I think maybe pageants will be different if they exist at all.
Possible. Playboy also been something else before, and now they are much more secure, and they built such a tremendous brand. So, like, whatever revealing pictures they had earlier, now it doesn't fit the brand, and they have more like upscale look to the and it's a more broad like kind of appeal right now. What is your role? Like, who are you as a person, like, besides those three things, like as a human being?
As a human being, I mean, we're at a beauty panel, so I love indulging in beauty and skincare and self-care and taking care of, oneself. And I think I'm a person that is always wanting to give back and inspire others just to live, their true life and their true purpose, whatever that may be. And that's, the two of my initiatives with Women with Voices are my mental health initiative and providing a safe space for exploring solutions and coping mechanisms for mental health, and also sexual education and liberation for women, and understanding our bodies from an educational point, but also feeling liberated and comfortable with our sexuality as well.
You seem losing your voice. Probably you do a lot of speeches, and I put you on the spot right in between the what you was doing prior to me asking for the interview. What is the kind of the reason why you do this? Like, is there like do you make money out of this? Is it for fun? Or you have like a wealthy family that support you, or you are like a doctor or lawyer in daily life, and that's how you make money? Like, what's the coloration, right? What's the connection between those?
I make money in everything I do. It was
Profit is supposed to be not making money.
sure. We have to fund ourselves to
Okay.
have all of this and have this conversation.
Managers and people who get
Absolutely. And I'm a co-founder, so I would fall under that category. In addition to other things, I am a model, so I monetize off of taking pictures and all of the public things.
It's quite difficult to make money in the modeling world when there is such competition in New York, so many models, so much competition. A lot of girls willing to do it for fun, for free, for a fraction of rate. Are you considering to move, maybe do more acting jobs and join the SAG and union, like as an actress? Is there a next step for you, something that you would like to add to your portfolio?
Actually, no. I don't really have any interest in acting, but I went to school for broadcast journalism, so hosting and yes. So hosting and interviewing would be the next step.
Okay, maybe we'll see an anchor next time in your shoes. May I ask, what is your Instagram?
At Jordy_Jor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure there are amazing pictures there. Check it out. Okay, may I ask, what is your name?
Ariana Ponce.
Ariana, may I ask, what do you do?
I'm a waitress currently. I'm trying to get into modeling.
Okay. How that's going for you? Like, what are the steps do you think you need to take to become a model or number one model, a supermodel, or getting big shows and getting, proper what kind of productions? Do you need great pictures? Do you need great connections? Do you need to meet the right people? Like, what are the steps that you need to take to make your dream come true?
Well, I think it's everything that you said. It's connections, just getting yourself out there. I believe that it's all a process. You have to start small and then build yourself up there. So
I think you should start high and because if you start small, you may never reach the highs. So, if you can do maybe one or two tremendous productions with the famous people and celebrities and big shows, you establish yourself few steps earlier, so you don't have to climb for years the ladder. Because when you're a new model and you're starting and a fresh face, either you make it really quick and you rise on top, or it might take forever. And if you're doing this for a long time and you didn't make it, probably you're not good enough for this. But if you just started and it's it takes you up, maybe it's so you have right now the window of opportunity before it hits the kind of that mass. Pardon me for stopping. Go ahead.
it's okay. No, I was just saying it's just a process. I feel like you just have to get your name out there, get your brand out there, and in hopes that somebody recognizes you and you can get your, just build your brand from there. And so I just believe everything is a process. You just have to be consistent and always try to stay connected and always try to.
What do you do? Do you talk to the folks on the internet, on Instagram? Do you take your own pictures? Do you reach out to designers? What steps do you wait until they reach out to you? What steps do you take?
Well, I've been submitting plenty of pictures to agencies in hopes that somebody will reach back to me, want to sign me or want to meet me. Also, just taking pictures.
My take on this, I know a little bit about this. When you send your pictures to them, they don't want you. You need to build it that way so they come to you. If you're asking, please take me, they don't want it. You need to set up your traps so they come to you, and then it's your conditions. They want you. But by asking noisy salesman, pick me, the guy asking you for a date, pushing you, you might want to pass him on the street. But if someone really cool, interesting, you might want to get attention. Same thing here. Even with the pretty girls, you competing against other girls who have the similar looks like you and stuff. So, is there any things special about you? Like, do you have any traits, things that might be helpful to make your case? If you can pitch yourself, why you're the best model out there? You walk better than other girls. You can do like a maybe commercial look, or you have education or experience. Like, what separates you from the bunch of others?
I feel like just, confidence is key sometimes. At all times, actually, especially in this world. So yeah, I think I'm very confident in myself, and I feel like I can do many different types of shoots, because I feel like I have a diverse type of look. So I feel like I can do anything, any type of shoot, any type of anything really. So I just feel like I'm very diverse in that world.
May I ask, what is your Instagram?
It's Ariana _ Aponte. So ARIANNA_APONTE.
Say it again, because I hold mic for me.
ARIANNA_APONTE.
Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. She might have some cool pictures there. Thank you. Okay, let's find out. May I ask, what is your name?
My name is Farrah Lewis.
Are you giving a speech today?
I'm going to be participating on the panel. Yes.
What are you going to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about different. So we're going to have a discussion about beauty, culture, how that affects our community, how it affects women, and doing a deep dive into the conversation around beauty and culture.
You're certainly very beautiful, but what qualifies you? What kind of credentials do you have to talk about beauty?
Well, one, I'm beautiful. Two, so number two, I would say, an advocate for women and girls, and we often hear about body positivity, and we also hear about the negative side. So I believe that in the age that I am now and going through what I went through in life, I could provide insight on what that is and how to combat issues when it comes to negative body positivity.
If I don't put you on the spot, can you talk? What did you go in your life, or what did you have to go through?
Well, I am a survivor of domestic violence, and part of the experience that I had was due to beauty, was due to imagery and how people see you and how your mate may see you or think of you. So that plays a little bit into your self-esteem. And part of that experience helped me to heal afterwards and learn that I had to love myself and accept me for who I am.
Usually, a beautiful girl is on a party the most lonely one, because everybody is afraid to come and talk to her. And once she meets someone who has no fear of her beauty, usually those people have no fear of her as a person, and those beautiful girls, models, also often get mistreated by those men who are not very respectful for the beauty, for anybody for that matter. What are the ways for the girls who have that natural God-given beauty, that gene pool that makes them pretty, but also kind of vulnerable as humans? Is there a way for them to kind of use that as a strength rather than as a weakness?
Well, I would say to be yourself. Be yourself in any scenario, any situation or circumstance. You should always be yourself. It shouldn't be about your beauty, but who you are, your character, and how you carry yourself. That's what should always stand out.
Why do you support Fashion Week Brooklyn?
Fashion Week Brooklyn is basically a reflection of what Brooklyn is. A lot of amazing designers were birthed out of Brooklyn. A lot of amazing designs, from the way Brooklyn looks to the people that walk down the street who are like walking art. It's all a part of what Brooklyn Fashion Week is about. So I definitely support this initiative.
Rick and I done quite a few shows in the past, and Rick is a really good friend and really a serious guy who knows the fashion, who done it for years, who have a great reputation. How does it feel to work in that kind of crew and that kind of team? So like being on a panel, we have lots of beautiful girls in this room. You've been asked to be part of on a panel, so obviously that's makes you in some way unique. How does it feel like to be part of the Fashion Week Brooklyn?
Well, first of all, I'm honored to participate in this capacity, and I'm just one of many. Everyone here is beautiful in their own right, and they have their own experience to share. So I'm glad to lend to that conversation, and I'm glad I was asked to even participate. So it's just an honor to be here.
What is your Instagram?
It's at Farah N. Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. I'm sure there is more than just pretty pictures there. There is more useful content that.
Yeah, I do a whole lot of work in the community.
Check it out. Thank you.
About 50 pounds in weight, and all the eczema and asper just cleared up. A lot of energy was released. Skin feels great. I feel great. So the benefits, were worth it, absolutely. And it's like anything. The more you start to do it, first it seems really strange and different, but then as you get used to the new lifestyle, let's say, it becomes second nature. And today it's so much more mainstream, which is great.
So I asked Wendy to put together a no-bake on-the-go bar with ingredients that would be easy for us to obtain, because that's part of the challenge, is they put together these recipes and they're like, you need Eye of Newt, and you're like, I don't know where to get that, So most of these ingredients, what would you say they're available?
Yeah, they're available in Costco, most grocery stores. You can get them online, and deliberately try to find things that are easy. So I'll quickly run through them if you like. So I'm going to be using gluten-free rolled oats.
Do you mind giving us the benefits of each of the ingredients?
Sure, yeah. Oats are a great filler. They are really high in fiber. So we need fiber. We don't eat nearly enough fiber. We're supposed to eat at least 30 grams of fiber a day. Most people look even get 5. So this is a great one, and this is gluten-free. So that's another great benefit.
I might add that Bob's Red Mill is a privately owned company where it's a co-op and everybody then gets a share of the profits. So we love Bob's Red Mill. Part of what I do at Greening for Life is promote not only organic but startup brands and brands where founders are an integral part and also support, pay fair wages to their employees and so forth. So we love Bob's Red Mill. They've been around for a long time. They're a great company. They take care of their people, and their integrity is very high in the quality of the products.
I'm also going to be using a sunflower butter. Seeds are really highly nutritious, whether it's sunflower, pumpkin, sesame. And this is particularly because this is a nut-free recipe. A lot of people, if they've got kids, they can't take anything with peanuts or nuts into school. I'm lucky that I'm not allergic to nuts, so I use them a lot in my diet. But if you are allergic to nuts, then I also use a lot of sunflower and pumpkin seeds, which is great this time of the year. If you think about, a small seed has enough nutrients in it to grow a huge plant and produce fruits and vegetables. So those seeds are really concentrated, and you don't need a lot. Same with nuts, and they're great when you grind them up into a butter, or you can make dressings with them. You can sprinkle them in many, many things. They also are high in protein as well as in good fats. So
Does everybody know? Has anyone heard of sun butter? Anyone ever had sun butter?
Sunflower butter?
So good. Really, really good.
And it's really good. Like I say, it's a nice one to have, especially if you've got kids and they're taking things into school.
Which is cool, especially because it's still nut-free.
Yes.
So on those days when you're tired, you got to put together a something butter and jelly sandwich. You're safe. You're not going to kill anybody.
Hemp seeds is another great one. This has become known for its protein content. A lot of people don't, I get asked that all the time. Vegan, where do you get your protein? So seeds is one big source. Hemp seeds are highly concentrated in protein. So this is a great one, and they're very easy to digest. They're very soft. You can put them in, sprinkle them in so many things: dressings, salads, desserts, whatever you want, cereals. Okay. And I've got chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? This is raw chocolate. This is cacao nibs. Basically, if anyone doesn't know, the difference is cocoa is when the cacao bean has been roasted. And like with a lot of things, when things are cooked, they can lose some of their nutrition. So if you can, I'm not saying you can't use dark chocolate, is good too, but if you can get raw, it's great because it still contains so many micronutrients, magnesium, zinc, a ton of great things are in raw cacao versus cocoa. Okay, and it tastes great. And dried berries, especially this time of year as we go into winter, these are goji berries, got these at Costco. This big pack was, I think, about $12, but you don't need a lot, you just need a small handful. It tastes, if you've not tasted them, they're a little bit like a cranberry. Just got a lot of great nutrients, vitamins in there, vitamins in there, and they're a nice addition to any dessert or salad or whatever you want garnish, okay? So the idea is to try and get things as nutritionally dense as possible so that when you're eating, you're feeling full. But I think one of the most important things to do is when we're on the run, we don't tend to really look at our food. We tend to be looking at screens or thinking about what we're doing next. We don't actually look at what we're eating. So what I would say is if you can, when you start to eat your lunch or have a snack, just take a minute to really just slow down for 1 minute, look at your food, smell your food, taste your food, chew your food, and you'll really start to feel full and you'll start to enjoy your food again. We're so busy kind of running and eating that sometimes we don't even remember eating our food. And I'd say that's a simple thing to do, but it's a really good thing to do.
And also chewing.
Chewing is
Digestion starts in the mouth.
Yes.
So many times it's like and down, and we can't possibly take advantage of all the nutrients that the food has to offer if we're not chewing it well. So really, if you could chew your food well, you're getting so much more mileage out of it. Now, can we swap out a lot of these ingredients? Like we can swap out goji berries for raisins.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Nothing is set in stone here,
Nothing
right?
is set in stone. I'd say the basics are the oats are a really nice, easy digestible, easy accessible thing to start as a base. The nut butter, it could be any nut butter, it doesn't have to be sunflower, it could be peanut butter, it could be almond, cashew, whatever you like. The goji berries, if you can't get them or you don't like them, raisins are great, they're a great source of iron. Dried blueberries, any berry really that's dried is great.
For those of us that still need the sugar, can we throw in some maple syrup? Can we throw in
I was
some
just going to
honey?
say,
Oh, good. Okay.
I've actually got in here is the wet ingredients, which is the sunflower butter, and there's a quarter cup of maple syrup. So I've got to go completely vegan, but we could use honey, or anything really. You could add sugar if you wanted to, but because this is a wet dough-like, it's better if it's a liquid sugar. You could use agave as well if you wanted to.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm a photographer, a filmmaker, and I often film food. What is maybe you have some pointers how to film food and for pictures, for video? Like a lot of us like to do Instagram pictures of food. Is there any advice?
Any pointers for
Like
filming food?
colors, like accessorizing, like how do you present it properly?
When
That's
I take
the bonus, right?
Yeah.
The brighter the food, the better it is for you.
Yes.
So, and the more photogenic it is too.
The brighter it is, the more antioxidants it has in it. Natural daylight is always best. I find I try and photograph by a window if I can. And contrast, using different bright colors.
Do you spray? Do you move it? How do you
I
present
spray?
it?
Sometimes I'll
How
use
do you
some
style it?
Yeah, I'll style sometimes with olive oil to give a shine, that kind of thing.
Thank you.
I'm trying to get what else I use. It's usually pretty good as it is, to be quite honest. Yeah.
The moral of the story is that nature does all the job.
Yes. But it's fun. I enjoy taking pictures of food. My kids complain all the time, taking photos of yen home. Yeah.
People want to know.
So, shall I begin?
Any other questions before we start in terms of substitutions, or how about refrigeration? If I take this and it's sitting at the bottom of my bag, if I take it at 9 a.m., at 4 a.m., is it still cool?
Yeah, all the ingredients here are raw.
4 p.m., 4 a.m. out of the club.
Yeah. This particular recipe is exactly that. Everything's raw. It's okay to be left out all day long, so it would be naturally anyway. It does taste better, though, I think, if you can chill it for a little while, give it a chance to meld together the flavors and keep it in the fridge. But, because it might go a little soft, a little gooey as the day progresses, but it doesn't have to be refrigerated.
How about the ingredients? Do you recommend that? Because I would keep my coffee in the freezer, and I found that some people say, yes, that's true, other people are like, no, not really. So do you recommend keeping anything in the refrigerator? There's rancidity issues?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I use things regularly, so it depends on how often you're using them. If you're using it very rarely, a little bit here and there, then yeah, you can keep things in the freezer. Seeds and things will be fine in the freezer. But honestly, I mean, if you're using them every day, then you don't need to. Airtight is
You're
fine.
shaming us. You better use it every day.
I'm not trying to shame. I'm just saying they're great to eat. So yeah, we make trail mixes out of them. That's what I do a lot. Yeah. All right, so.
Could we bake this bar if we were motivated? Or does it need it?
It doesn't need it. This
Okay.
one really doesn't need baking. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and I hope to be able to email you all the recipe. I'll run it through now. So, in this container here is a cup of the oats, a quarter cup of the cacao nibs. There's a quarter cup of flaxseed, ground flaxseed. Ground flaxseed is great because it digests better. If you whole flaxseed, and the same, I'm afraid, with the chia puddings and things, you don't get the same nutritional benefits because the seeds are still whole. So if you can grind up the flaxseed, grind up the chia, you just get all the benefits versus just some of them. There's some cinnamon, there's a little pinch of sea salt, and there's a quarter cup of goji berries. Okay?
The trick to cinnamon also is if you could keep cinnamon sticks around, that's great. Because the thing with spices is that many of our spices, little known fact, but I did a post about it so I happen to know, is that spices can sit around for 2 years before they even make it into your cabinet. And then in your cabinet, they'll probably sit for another 2 years, right? Who's baking every day? So if you get the cinnamon stick and then you just, scrape it out as you need it, it's best to do it that way.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm just adding a half cup of, this is the sunflower butter, and a quarter cup of maple syrup, and there's a little vanilla extract in there too. And literally all you're doing, this is a great one to do with kids, is mixing them together. They'll bind and make like a cookie dough.
And the trick with vanilla extract is that, and I didn't know this until I had kids, is that you really could make your own. You get a vanilla bean and you could pour anything over it you want. You could put the vanilla bean in a small jar, you could do it with bourbon, you could do it with vodka, but that's all vanilla extract is. It's just the stick and then whatever alcohol you may want to put in it. I don't think I've ever heard gin, but I've heard bourbon and vodka.
Vodka has no flavor, so it takes on the flavor of whatever it is. The best thing with extracts is to use 100 proof vodka. And you can get it Smirnoff to a bottle, 100 proof. And you literally do that. You put the herbs and spices in a jar, you pour the vodka over, and you let it sit for a couple of weeks normally, and then you strain it, and you get your extract. That's it. Okay, so
Here's our little samples that we're all going to get later. Woot woot!
yeah, you only need like 1 or 2 of these is enough, per person, I would say. This will make about 16, about the size of a ping pong ball. So you really, they're really dense. There's a lot of protein, there's a lot of fiber, there is some sugar, you've got the berries, so you don't need to, you'll feel it, you'll notice when you eat it, but it's satisfying. I don't know if you can see this. This is the dough. So, really quickly comes together. And then you just break it into sections. I'll just do it quickly because I don't know how we do it for time.
I don't know. Could we roll it, let's say, in the other superfood, like coconut or something?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever you like, you can roll it in. Shredded coconut's great. chopped nuts, if you like, walnuts and things are great.
And this is the finished product?
This is the hemp seed. So what I did was, with the hemp seed, I actually added a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a little pinch of salt, because they are quite plain.
We didn't talk about salt. That's the thing, it's interesting whenever I go out to eat and I have oatmeal, it's always so good and I can't figure out why. And it's salt. And in baked goods, you always notice, like, if you have a salted caramel this or a salted whatever, really salt adds a whole nother dimension. So if you throw a smidge of salt into any dessert, it's gonna make it better. It's gonna really round out the flavor. And that's something I didn't know. I was like, why do my cookies taste flat? But if you forget that smidge of salt, it makes a really big difference.
Yeah, whenever, your tastes are, salty, sweet, sour, spicy, so you should really have a combination of all flavors in all your cooking, and just one dominates. But yeah, with sweet things you should have a pinch of salt, it really brings out the flavor.
And Himalayan pink salt is better. It has more minerals than regular white salt.
Okay, so I'm just rolling it in the hemp seeds to coat. And that is it.
Boom.
Done.
Excellent. Thank you, Wendy. So at the end of the event, I guess, does everybody want their snacks now or later? Should we do them later? Hand them out now or later?
You all look hungry. If you want to, you can grab a snack. There's also a few chips on the table, and we're starting the panel in 2 minutes. I really mean 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, we're starting the panel, okay?
Should we do them now? Does everybody want?
But right now, instead of me going into the extensive and amazing bios of these women that are here, I want them to each tell us a little bit about themselves and what they do. So please, tell us your name and what you do.
So my name is Marlene Stellaway. I am the founder and developer for the Fits by Design fashion and cosmetology industry booking app. I've also managed a Fortune 500 company and successfully brought that company from negative 50,000 to 1.1 million within 2 years.
Can we get a clap to that? I mean,
Hi, my name is Kenyon Hill. A few of you guys may know me from America's Next Top Model Cycle 4. And now I am modeling, acting, and I'm also the founder of Find Your Light, which is an interactive modeling workshop where I help models who are aspiring to get into the modeling industry and current models. I help them find their light within in terms of inner strength and confidence and knowing their own value, as well as finding their light on set. So posing techniques from head to toe and helping girls find agencies in their area. And all kinds of stuff just pertaining to helping models, get to where they want to be.
that's amazing. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jordan Emanuel. I am Playboy's Playmate of the Year. I'm also Miss Black America New York. And I am one of the co-founders for women's nonprofit Women with Voices. Woo! And my focus in our nonprofit is mental health. That's one of my initiatives. And my other initiative is sexual education and sexual liberation. So self-care is my thing.
I am Eve, and I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I'm the founder of Melange NYC Beauty Services in New York. But we travel all over the world. But it started with working with celebrities on TV. We now offer all our services to all you everyday people.
We're happy about that.
Very happy. And very affordable. But we don't give nobody more.
Thank you. Sarah.
My name is Sarah. I'm a plus-size model and influencer, and I have dedicated my life to inspiring and empowering others to be kinder to themselves and gentle to their bodies. I recently did a TEDx talk that was released, and it's all about how we can use social media to creates a more inclusive standard of beauty. We no longer have to rely on big media houses or brands to tell us what's beautiful. We can create our own content and we can share it with other people, and the power of that. So that's a little bit about me and the work that I do.
Thanks, Sarah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Farrah Lewis. I'm a city council member. I represent neighborhoods in Brooklyn, Flatbush, East Flatbush, Midwood, Flatlands, Canarsie, Marine Park. That's just a little bit of what we encompass. I won my election May 14th of this year. I have to run again like 4 weeks later, June 25th, and I have to run again November 5th. So I'm considered like a case study for someone that had to run 3 times in 1 year with no political experience. I started a nonprofit organization in 2012 called Girls Leading Up because I wanted to empower young women in their personal and professional development, because I know that I had to struggle when I was coming up. I got a degree in journalism, couldn't find a job outside of that, and had to figure things out. So I wanted to inspire girls in my community to fight for what they want to be.
Amen. I feel like I'm in church right now. As you can see, now I know you understand why we have these amazing women on this panel, because they really are true examples of beauty inside and out. Not just working on their outer appearance, which is very important, by the way, but also working on being great on the inside and letting that shine and inspiring others, and also taking from other people to inspire themselves, which is just as important as well. So one of the first things I just want to touch on is our regular good old Webster's Dictionary version of what beauty is supposed to be. This is what they say. They say it's a combination of qualities such as shape, color, or form that pleases the aesthetic senses, especially the sight. And next they have a beautiful woman. Okay? So that was the definition that we see in Webster. And I just want to find out from some of our panelists what they see beauty as. So would you mind starting?
Sure. Beauty, for me personally, I believe it's about depth. Definitely depth of character. Beauty aesthetically, as we know, it comes in levels. And I've always noticed that people who are very beautiful and kind on the inside, it seems like when they age better. You ever see some women, it's like the smile lines, and it's something internal that comes out on the outside. And so for me, it's about depth of character.
Okay. Anyone, feel free to jump in.
I think beauty is confidence. I feel beauty is not about how you look. I mean, yeah, you can enhance your beauty any day, but I think it's about just bringing out your personality, your confidence, you know, showing the true you. That's beauty to me.
It's awesome. I think beauty, when it comes to people, it's definitely confidence, but also before you get to confidence, I think it comes from self-acceptance, regardless of the aesthetics. When you accept your good side and your bad side, and really aim to be better and do better than you were yesterday, then you have the right, I think, to be confident. Not because anybody can be confident, and there's a thin line between confidence and being conceited and feeding your ego. Those are different things. So I think it has a lot to do with self-acceptance.
Yeah. And I'm sure that it takes so much to be able to fight society's view of what beauty is and define that for yourself. I know, Jordan, you talk a lot about mental health, when you go out and speak. And there's so many things, insecurities that we all deal with. And I just want you to speak a little bit concerning the alopecia that you spoke about. When I saw you post that on social media, I said, you know what, that is so amazing for someone, everybody knows, like, Playboy, like, come on now. You're a playmate. It's like they consider it to be one of the epitomes of what beauty is on the outside. And for a playmate to come out and say, listen, I deal with this, and actually showed exactly what the condition is, I can't imagine what was going through your head. It felt like it was a liberation. Can you tell us a little bit?
Sure. So I've struggled, for those who don't know, with alopecia for the last
6 years. It's an autoimmune disease, which is usually triggered by stress, but it's also hereditary. And I had one flare-up 6 years ago when I was still in college. It kind of went away after 6 months, never worried about it again until about a year and a half ago. I had done a chemical treatment.
She's like,
yeah, I had done a chemical treatment, got a perm, but I shouldn't have gotten a perm. And it started as a small little burn. You know, I had something else in my hair that it conflicted, had a chemical reaction, started as a small burn. I was dealing with some things with my grandmother, who was very ill at the time. So it was just exasperated by my emotional stress. Ironically, I was working the most I'd ever worked in modeling, so I'm in front of the camera feeling a little bit self-conscious that literally I have a hole of hair missing. So after about 6 months, it just took out my whole hairline. So about a year ago, I literally didn't have, like, this was all gone. So I started getting into wigs and just, you know, trying to just mask it. I was starting to do the cortisone shots, which helped a lot, but they're uncomfortable. And I needed to get them every 3 weeks, and I was lazy and wasn't doing that. To the point where it started to just get further and further. And I started doing my shots again. I noticed a lot of growth in the front. A lot of the texture was coming back. So I was feeling good about it.
Were you ever concerned that you would lose your place as this position that you worked so hard to do because people were so superficial, just looking at you on the outside?
Well, ironically, I think I had a fear, and I was projecting that onto my work. So I wasn't going to castings for a very long time. Everything, people were still requesting me, people were still, you know, interested, but I was the one who was like, they're deciding what the decision was going to be, you know what I mean? And for a while I was like, I either want to shave my head and call it a day and not even be a slave to this idea, or I'm just going to be open about it and be like, if you see a patch, that's why.
Yeah.
And finally, you know, it started growing back, but then it fell out again.
Wow.
And so September was Alopecia Awareness Month, and I finally was like, you know what? I'm tired. Let me just post this, because I didn't fill something in. I was like, I'm posting it. And the reaction I got, I wasn't expecting at all. I wasn't aware of how many people suffered from it, men and women. The techniques that people were, I was like, oh my God, I need to start a whole little library of just resources for what people are using, and so I've been a lot more proactive with sharing that.
That's amazing.
And I just want to say, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no,
You look
please.
absolutely gorgeous with the
Yes.
shirt. Thank you. Like,
Yes.
I'm still
it
considering
took a
it.
lot for me to cut this off,
Yes.
and then you couldn't pay me to go back to the lace front. So it would work.
That's amazing.
I might just.
And that was a lot. I mean, when something, I know we all have our insecurities that we deal with every single day, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's, you know, a little piece of flesh here, a little hair out of place here, there's not one of us who hasn't experienced something like that. So, I mean, that's a true example of someone being able to show their vulnerability, and it not only strengthening the audience, but it strengthened her as well. So we applaud you for sharing. Thank you for that. And, you know, and I love the way we're uplifting each other here. One of the things too, when I hear that, I think about you, Sarah. The plus size modeling industry has broken so many barriers, and it's sad to even say that, because I'm like, plus size models have been like it forever. Like even Marilyn Monroe herself was considered a plus size model. Do you even feel like the term plus size model should even exist? Or do you feel like, you know what, I'm just a model?
Honestly, if there was a time to be a plus size model, it would be right now. So I'm very grateful to be a plus size model today. I feel like the industry is changing. Of course, there's still more work to do, but at least brands are interested, brands are listening. And at the end of the day, human beings come in all different shapes and forms. And what I think is dangerous is aligning the word beautiful with the concept of self-worth. Because people look all different ways. And all of them, we all start at good and worthy. And I think that to me, that's like the most dangerous part of the whole beauty and fashion industry, is that we think that the only way for a person to have value on this planet is by being beautiful or aspiring to some kind of standard of beauty. But I think that's a conversation that needs to be changed. You know, we all start at good and worthy, and then everything else is just sprinkles, right?
Yeah.
But back to your question. Language, words, I think it's all about, like, we think the word plus size is bad because we've been told that it's bad. I see it as like a reclamation of a word that has been used to kind of like suppress plus size people or to suppress fat people, and kind of like taking that word and being like, it's good, it's fine, just like you did with your condition. You're like, this is part of my body and this is who I am, and I'm still good and I'm still worthy. And you know, so I think that now is just like a really great time for plus size people in general, and for the industry to become more inclusive in all spectrums, not only with size diversity, but people with you know, people who may be suffering from illnesses, or people who may be in a wheelchair, or whatever it is. Because like, it's that humanity is so important, and that's what makes life interesting, and that's what makes life beautiful.
You're right, and I'm very concerned today.
I used to model very long time ago, so I'm not as
amazing.
But I used to model a very long time ago, and I would say now I kind of change the narrative and the language, and I say size inclusive. And I'm grateful for artists and people that are into merchandising like Brianna. She has Savage Fenty, and she never labels her models plus size. She just throws it out there, and you get to see the beauty of all the models and what they're actually selling. And I think that's very important for us to try to change the narrative. I know that it's very important for you to own who you are and what you are, but I think changing the language also changes the conversation. I agree. So that they just focus on the actual product.
Yeah, and I love that too. Oh, we can clap. I heard someone clapping. Let's go for it. You know, I love your story about how you started, even just in journalism. Can you tell a little bit about that story about when you started there in that class and knocking on doors and them telling you certain things about your appearance?
So I remember first starting out, I actually graduated from LIU Brooklyn with a dual degree in journalism and English. And I remember every time I would go to an interview, they would always say, you are gorgeous, but you are too dark, or you are too big, or you're not exactly the fit we're looking for. And I remember being super disappointed about it, but then saying, you know what, I gotta keep going. And eventually I did get a job. Hot 97 hired me to do promotion. And I was okay with that because that door opened. I know something else would open later, but my confidence definitely did go low, because I was trying to wonder, should I bleach my skin? Should I do particular things to myself in order for me to fit this criteria that everyone was asking for? And I'm happy to say that right now I see women that look just like me on TV. It didn't work at the time, but now that I see that, I'm like, all right, they're moving in the right direction now. Somebody's stepping up and having a conversation. It probably wasn't for me at the time, but I'm happy for the people that are there right now.
That's awesome.
I wanted to add something about the plus size modeling stuff. Because that's something that I take really personally. Some of you may have not seen my season or cycle of America's Next Top Model, and I was eliminated because I gained too much weight. And I was maybe about 10 pounds heavier than what I am right now, but I'm 5'11", and so it would look like I would maybe be 5 pounds heavier than I am right now, if you know what I'm saying. And that was when I first started to have insecurities about like the lower area of my stomach and like little muffin top areas, like I couldn't get that part skinny enough. I started to feel really insecure about my thighs not being skinny enough. And then it was also a little bit of of a mental hurdle because in the black community you need to have ass. And so I'm like, well, damn. So it was awful. It was really awful for years. And I'm happy now that Instagram has helped change that. Because there are so many girls now who don't need a modeling agency to represent a brand or a company. And so many of these women who are absolutely gorgeous are not a size 2. And it's amazing. You said it beautifully. I mean, we come in so many shapes, sizes, and colors. And what's funny is a lot of these designers are not models themselves. So it's like, don't you know how marketing works? What clothes do you buy? What do the models look like who represent the brands that you wear?
Yes.
We should be, that's how you gravitate to something because of the marketing.
It's true.
So, and now modeling agencies, things are changing. Things are changing. They don't call it plus size anymore. They call it curve, which has a much softer connotation.
Yes.
It sounds
And we like curves.
sexier. We like curves around here, so that's a good thing. And I'm excited for you because it's coming. It's coming.
Kenyon, the diversity in I know you do so many things when it comes to not just body positivity in that area, but also, like you said, in preparing people for the industry. What are you hearing from the people that are coming to you when it comes to just a positive mindset or outlook on them being able to grow within the industry? Are they seeing that there's room for them at any size?
The thing is, it's not even about them seeing the room for them to grow. They can't get in the door to even see what's going on. It's especially women of color. A lot of my modeling workshops that I've done my modeling workshops, Find Your Light, I've done them in Paris, Hawaii, London, Vegas, and 4 of them have been in Atlanta. And so it's a lot of women of color there, and they are experiencing, even though there's Instagram and all of these great things happening now, they have the same problems I had. I couldn't get signed to a modeling agency for 2 years after America's Next Top Model. I thought I was just gonna go to New York and just every agency just falling at my feet just for the mere fact of being on the show. And I thought Tyra also maybe was going to make a couple calls, but she gave us the ticket to get through, which was amazing. She changed my life. But when it comes to a lot of these aspiring models, especially the models of color, it's like acting or something. It's like, oh, there's like this myth. It's like who you know. No, you can get in the industry without knowing anybody, but there's not really a template or a blueprint for you to know what to do, how to get a portfolio, how to get what size am I in, what market am I in. It's sad because so many models think that they can do runway, or girls think they can do runway. There are very specific requirements for that. There's real life modeling where you can, for example, if a hotel is opening up a brand new hotel and they're going to start their advertisements, and you see the advertisements of like the drawings of the building or just pictures of models like people would be staying at the hotel. That pays a lot of money if they use your face like as a regular looking person, a regular looking person, and you can model until you're older. And there's so many facets of it, and people simply don't know.
How did you come back? There's so many people that fall into this state of depression coming from a place like America's Next Top Model where everyone sees you and like, oh, that's Kenyon! And then it's like, wait, that's Kenyon working at Burger King.
Yeah.
That happens a lot these days. No, but people do. We see people on the train, we see people writing, we see people.
No, that's so true.
How did you not fall into a state of depression? What was it?
Well, it was my ambition and my passion was to really be on the cover of Vogue, which is still a passion of mine. So look out for that. But I was so ambitious and was not going to give up or stop for anyone. So that is why I always continued to keep my dream alive and do things. But what I did learn is stuff about people. I'll tell you something about people. People think that just because you've been on TV, you're rich. You're connected, you don't have no problems. you know, it's strange to see people look at you in that way. And also,
You're not human.
yeah, and so, and I try to remain down to earth and be as real and be as humble as possible. And so when I behave the way that I do, in a humble manner, and I see people treat me a certain way because I've been on TV, or maybe because they think I can get them somewhere or something, it's a little heartbreaking. So that there was no depression. The depression part was not where I was. It was seeing how people view me.
Yes, it was more of a realization.
A realization of where people
of the views
of that. Yeah,
that makes sense. And you know, as you were speaking a little bit about Instagram now, and technology has definitely changed the face of everything that we do now. I mean, you know, I share so many things with you. Me, myself, as a digital marketer, I see how if you just have the correct mindset on exactly what you need to key into, you can literally pull a whole crowd into what you're doing and capitalize off of that. That's why I'm so amazed by your app. So, which, please, can you explain to everybody exactly what your app does?
Okay. So basically, I came about the app because I'm a self-taught swimmer. And I would go to work, I was working in a call center, and I was literally at the back, so that was like my runway, right? So I'd sew something for the day or whatever, and then I'd sashay down the runway. Well, a lot of my coworkers would be like, oh my God, where did you get that? You know, it's like, I sold it. No, you didn't, so I had to show them the unfinished, you know, thing on the inside. It's like, you have to make this for me, you have to make this for me. And so after getting all these little sticky notes and these threads, it's like, it's not a game, I'm not playing, you know. I actually kind of considered the logistics of it, and it got kind of complicated because it was like, okay, I'm 10 miles away. By the time, you know, I fit you, we have to go to the fabric store, and, you know, then I have to sew it, and I really don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to have to correct it. And so it's like, it's just going to be too costly. What I realized is that what those women truly wanted was the expressive and creative freedom that I had. Because what I wanted wasn't based off of someone else's look or someone else's design or idea of me. It was me literally pouring from myself and saying, this is how I want to express myself. So I said, they want the creative freedom. So I thought over it and I said, wait, what about, and my cousin is literally a graduate of Brooks College, so she talks to me about some of the issues that she had as a designer. She went to school for it, but she could never make money doing it because she couldn't get, you know, clientele. People would nickel and dime her at home, or worse, she'd get a big order like 25 choir robes, and then it takes her 3 months because she's working a full-time job. So it was like she would always tell me like, I have to work a job, I can't, you know, do what I'm doing. So I knew about that issue too. So I said, what if I were to create something sort of like a hair salon, and I put fashion designers, graduates, and then pair them with people, because they still have the creative freedom, they just don't know how to do it. So I pair them with the people, and then I put fabric on the other side of it, right? So this was my aha moment, and I was like, I'm doing this, yes. So I'm quitting my job, and this was in 2004, and I remember I went to the bank to get a loan. It's a pre-loan application. They're like, do you have any experience? No. Do you have any education? No. No. So I was like, okay, so I have a good idea. That's about it, right? And I'm not qualified to do this. And I didn't even bet on myself. I could just took equity out of my house, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be homeless. So I said, I'll go to school, and once I finish school, if this is still a good idea, I'll pursue it. Long story short, graduated, life took its course, wound up managing, and I said, you know what? I think I can do this myself. So then in 2016, I pivoted to an app. And so I was like, yeah, I think this would be better nationwide as an app. I know how to do apps. So I had to figure out how to do an app. So started that journey. And so the app basically mirrors the same brick and mortar concept. So it's for fashion industry graduates of all walks, and there are resources on the app. You can make custom fabric right from your phone. You can take a picture of you, all of you guys, right? Upload it and make fabric, and make your own fabric. Literally, it's like a $5 minimum. Purchase anything. You can draw it. You can do anything else. And so I wanted it also, because I'm kind of living vicariously through these people. I didn't have the balls to go to school for it. So it's it's a resource. It's scholarships for fashion industry. All the terms, definitions, is glossary. So everything if you're a fashion student you would absolutely need. If you're an enthusiast, there's a directory I built, most comprehensive of all the fashion industry programs in the United States. The prerequisites, everything that's required for the contact information. I did this myself. It took me like 3 weeks. Built that out. So it's full of resources. There's for store enthusiasts, there's a social media component. So there's all of this for you that's there. And you can find the fashion designer, which I'm loading people in now, right? You can send them a request. You can send them 3 images of what you want, right directly to them. There's no middleman. There's no popularity algorithm. So it's literally by distance. And you're going to see who's closest to you. It's exclusive, only 25 designers per state, because I want them to be seen so they can get booked. And it's only $10 a month, right? No contract or anything.
Tell us the name again.
Oh, it's Fits by Design, and it's on every platform, Apple, Android, BlackBerry, dead BlackBerry. Yes, we're on BlackBerry, Windows, and what's the other one?
Google.
No, Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, Kindle. So it's on all, well, Google's Chrome, yeah, so it's on all of those. And yeah, so that, and then I just loaded it up with cosmetology. So we're doing the same exact situation for cosmetology.
Let's give that a hand. As we do this, we're going to have just a brief segment coming up in just a moment where we'll wrap this up and start our question and answer. But before our councilwoman has to go, I would like to know if anyone has any questions directed to her before she leaves. Yes, sir.
Okay. As a model and as a person of politics, is there a connection? Like we have actors who become a president. We had like a lot of people from movie industry coming to politics. Is there a future for girls who have models? Has a meeting, you model, role model or model in that sense? Like, is there a future in politics, and what's the connection?
Of course, I believe models, anyone who has a voice and a platform to have the conversation and make a change should definitely get into politics. I mean, I was listening to both of you speak. There's an opportunity for everyone to get into politics and to make a change, changing the conversation and the narrative for our generations to come. So, and I believe that was the position I was in. I wanted to become a journalist. I dibbled and dabbled, didn't really get on TV, but then God made a way and now I'm a councilwoman. I'm on TV all the time, having a conversation all the time, but bringing the experts in to have a larger conversation about how do we need to make a change in this community for this particular thing. So there's a space for everyone. That's amazing.
So I wanted to ask, because growing up, obviously I'm dark skinned as well. I had the same issues where people be like, you're too dark, and my mom is light. So it's like, you're not pretty enough. And my mom would instill in me, when people would say, oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl, like that's not a compliment. It's like saying you're pretty for a dog. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So how did you feel, because I know how I felt, when the tables turned? I think it was the Peaches and Cream video from 112. With that one dark-skinned model that took over the industry, you remember that? And they started booking her everywhere, and then you see people like tanning and all that. How did you feel, especially with thinking that maybe I should bleach? How did you feel when you noticed that the whole earth kind of just shifted towards, you know, the acceptance and the celebration of melanin power?
I mean, it was very empowering. It was after I actually there was a woman that was on a music video. I know it was with Pharrell. There was a dark
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
It was Laura London and another girl. And I think I bumped into her and I was like, how did you do it? Like, and she was like, I kept going. I kept pushing and I kept going. And it was like at that moment I was like, okay, I gotta keep trying. If she could do it, then I can do it. And then I would meet other women in other industries who would say the same thing. They couldn't like get in the door because they were too dark. The pivotal moment was having those conversations with those people to ask them how did they do it, and taking a little bit from each person and building my own plan on how to get to the next step. Because it does break down your spirit and your soul. You feel like, all right, then I have no hope. I should have went to nursing school. I should have did something else. But you know what your passion, you know what burns inside of you. And it's about creating a strategy in your head and sticking to it.
Yes, that's amazing. Can we give the councilwoman another wonderful woman, Miss Angela Jordan. 20,000 things. She's usually running all around the globe. So I'm so honored that you're here. Please tell us what you do.
I do apologize for being tardy. I really tried my hardest, but it was a crazy day for me. So I am a regional director for Empire Beauty School. That's one thing that I do during the day. So I handle all of the schools in New York as far as the career services, the development, making sure that all the books are right for the state. I handle the backhand books, making sure licensures are in, a lot of processing, a lot of talking. And outside of that, I have a beauty network, Beauty Biz Network. We're on Instagram. So what we do is we put together industry professional panels, brunches, day parties. Yeah, and of course we have something coming up also, the Glammies. I partner with a lot of different major companies. So I've been in the industry for when I graduated high school, 1997. Then I went right into cosmetology school. I have a tax office, so I have a tax franchise, value tax. My office is on bedside. I work with a non-for-profit agency, The Game of Life, so I do beauty mentorship in the juvenile detention centers. And then I work with a lot of stylists. So I do a lot of mentoring, I do a lot of networking. Today we did a photo shoot, so sometimes I'm on set with different people, working with them. Some famous, some on the rise, some, you can't even get to them now. And that's my life. My life consists of beauty. Everything.
So basically, she's Superwoman.
That's what she's trying to say. And now I'm having another child, so I'm trying to move around and make sure that everything stays in order. I was a little lost coming into this side of Brooklyn. I'm not from Brooklyn. So I'm like, where am I?
We appreciate you being here.
And I tried, and I thank you guys.
And it's good timing.
All wonderful.
It's very good timing because we have a few things that we want to get into with touching on just a few of the things that you do. But Eve, now, you have been, I have seen you, when I first moved to New York, one of the first people I heard about in the industry of beauty was Eve, right? And her story of like grind and